We all have a purpose. This life has a purpose. This life is shaped by desire. And if we don't acknowledge that desire, then we go on living in ignorance. And as a result, we just keep on doing the same kinds of things, struggling to find the resolution to the desire. So if you want true happiness, peace, and freedom, then you owe it to yourself to find out what the desire is that you need to fulfill and then to fulfill it. And you have not only the right, but all of, I would say, a divine mandate to do exactly that. So I've noticed something, which is that it seems like a lot of people are, they take a kind of sick, I don't know what to call it, a kind of, it's not real satisfaction, but kind of false satisfaction, a sick false satisfaction by sitting by watching the world burn and saying, I told you so. And if you notice any of that within yourself, and we've all got a tiny little bit of it, if not a hefty dose of that, then you owe it to yourself to call yourself out on it and to see that that's not helping you at all, and that you owe it to yourself to actually to get rid of that. And the reason that people have that is because of a fear of their authentic empowerment. Because the truth is, you are creating your experience. You're creating your experience always. Everything that you experience is your creation, and that includes every last little bit of it. So the bit where you say, I told you so, and you're just willing to sit by on the sidelines and watch the world burn, that is where you need to take responsibility for your own life, your own experience, your own dissatisfaction, your own unhappiness. And you need to realize that you alone have the ability to solve your problems. And as I've said, you have a divine mandate to do so because that's the purpose of your life. If you don't do so, you'll just keep going round and round and round until you figure that out. So why not do it now? Because haven't you had enough of the suffering? And you can just go ahead and say yes to that. You have had enough of the suffering. That's why you're here. So here's the deal. Here's how you can do that. First of all, you have to take the first step that I've already pointed out, which is just to acknowledge that you have unfulfilled desire. And you know that that's true because you hurt in certain ways. So here's a secret. It's not a, it's an open secret. It's not a secret that is not already known by everybody, but most people are in denial about it, which is that you are here actually to experience peace, harmony, fulfillment, happiness, unconditional love. That's why you're here. A lot of people are confused about that, and they think that they're here to experience suffering, and that is absolutely not true. Suffering is ignorance. That's all that it is. It's just ignorance. Literally, that's what it is. Suffering means ignorance. It means that you are ignorant of who you are, your powers, and what all this is in your relationship to it. As a result, when you live in that ignorance, you feel victimized. You feel that there's power outside of you that is disempowering you, that is causing your hurts. And then you just sit around thinking, gee whiz, what could I do about it? I guess I can't do anything because it's all happening to me. So you have to recognize that that is not what your life is meant to be. Your life is meant to be a life of fulfillment, purpose, happiness, contentment, peace, love, harmony, joy, all of that. And somewhere somebody is going to, especially on YouTube, somebody's going to say, oh, that can't be true because of this, that, and the other reason. Everybody's got their reasons why they believe that's not true, but just tell the truth, actually. You've had enough of the suffering, and so you owe it to yourself to finally just start to make the change. And you can only make that change if you're willing to accept the responsibility. So you can argue for why you cannot. You can argue for why that's not the truth. You can argue for why there is no God. You can argue for all of these things. But so long as you do those things, nothing's going to change, at least not in a positive way. So when you want things to change, you have to take that responsibility. So just take that responsibility now. Just do that for yourself. Just choose within yourself. Take that step right now and say, I choose to take responsibility for my own experience, for my own life. I'm done worrying about anything else. I'm done worrying about anybody or anything outside of myself. I'm only going to take responsibility for my own experience. I owe it to myself and to everybody else to do exactly that. So I'm choosing that now, and make that a firm resolve within yourself so that you won't go back on it, so that you won't fall back into the old habits of disempowerment. Just choose now. I choose my life. I choose responsibility for my own experience, and I choose to live the life that I'm meant to live, which is a life of peace, happiness, fulfillment, and unconditional love.